Huh?
They were saying 5,000 per day.
Potential. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's game number 2. We are in the heart of Durban. And in the heart of Durban, the heartbeat for Border is just a little bit halted as I try to catch my breath as well. It's the first wicket down with the very, very, very first ball of the match. It was a no ball even. And Sompa couldn't make it back home. What a very weird way to lose the wicket. It was a no ball missed, the non-striker opting to go for a run, but very lackadaisically making it back home once the ball has already reached the stumps. So 0 for 1 with not even a single ball delivered. Welcome to cricket, ladies and gentlemen. A game that makes sense, but sometimes makes no sense at all. No ball bowled, and it seems as if Border in their navy strip are starting with an already disadvantage. Next man in, B1 player who is unable to see at all, because that's the rules of the tournament. There's a certain order that must follow in order for us to try and curb and get some good combinations of batting teams. So the first 3 batters must go in an order of B3, B2, B1. So regardless of what the case is, the third player will always be a B1 player. So the second match that we have for you here, ladies and gentlemen, it's Northwestern Dragons. And they wearing their grey and maroon strip. They won the toss and chose to bowl. They taking on Border. Border in their past 3 matches have only won 1 and faced 2 defeats. And on the other side, the team in grey have had a great tournament, unfortunately, but not much to be holding their heads down for. Team is still brand new, 2 months old, their very first tournament together as a team. So this is a growth process for them. It's for them to have a taste of what it takes to be the best in the country, because these are the very best in the country that we are watching. It's the BCSA T20 National Tournament. And all of this in preparation for the World Cup to come in December. And the next man who is walking in now for Border, as we can see, you can hear the clapping sounds as they welcoming in the new batters. Probably Northwest are welcoming in their new feast, the new man that they're going to throw their fire to. With the captain, Figi Letabang, number 10, starting things off. Makwa Manqokolwana. Mawara Manqokolwana. Here's the new man who's walking in. A B1 player. But right now, it is Malwande Sompa who is on strike and facing the captain of Northwestern Dragons. The ball goes behind the legs. It's a quick single by Border. The captain needs to make his way home. Something of a confusion there, and a big confusion. Massive confusion as the runner is... No one knows what happens except Northwestern Dragon and the umpire. It's a wicket down. How mad is that? Mshweshwe loses his wicket. Like I said, a little bit confusing, but it was the runner that is walking out, number 11. Number 11, the man who lost his wicket, is Malwande Sompa. He's the new man. We apologize for that confusion, but the score now is 1-2. What a strange inning to start everything off. 2 run-outs in the space of 1 ball. How funny is that? Figi Lechabang with the ball. It is Tim Stones with the bat. Tim Stones is a B3 player. Have the man at fine leg stopping the hoik. It's a very favorable scoring area here in the blind cricket tournament that we've been seeing. That area behind fine leg. Bear with us, we're just trying to sort out what's happening. There seems to be 2 players standing next to square leg as Mawande Sompa was still making his way out of the ground, imagine. I think he was still pleading for his wicket and pleading for his case, but that story was long written with Tim Stones casting it in stone by him coming and walking into the crease. So it's Figi Lechabang who has the ball, bowling it to Tim Stones. Quick delivery coming from Chabang. Tim Stones works it down to the 3rd man area. They were running very quickly. I think they thought 2 was in order. But nonetheless, it's still 1 run. Now 2 for 2. 2 legal deliveries bowled, 2 runs taken and 2 wickets gone. Believe us, it makes sense. But the nice thing here in Durban is that the weather has kind of become warmer. Is it testament to the cricket that we're about to watch? Or is it because the Dragons are in town and spitting fire after taking 2 wickets? Chabang bowls to Mangogolwana. The ball going outside that off stump. Mangogolwana unable to make any contact with it. It's 3 balls in. Very well bowled by Chabang. Very big weakness are the legs and feet. Purposely bowling it there. Quicker pace from him. Late onto the shots was Mangogolwana, but luckily enough for him, meeting the bat. It's been an excellent start from the captain here. Ooh, that was another good quick one, but it's a no ball called by the umpire. Umpire Mubin Rasul standing on the commentator's end. Figi Lechabang bowling it behind the legs of Mangogolwana, and that's how he brings the end to the first over. An eventful one. One that nearly blew my brains out because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But what I can tell you now, factually, is that 2 wickets had fallen in that over. A run out in the first one where the ball was hit to a fielder, non-striker, thinking there's a run where there wasn't. And it's wicket number 1. Wicket number 2 was a run out. Confusion between the runner and the call. That's how said the second wicket fell. It's 3 for 2 after 1. Coming in from the far end, it's B1 bowler, Boyke Nkati. This is another rain-reduced game. We only have 12 overs to go, so these players must go very quickly. Nkati, he's ready, bowling to Tim Stones. 11 overs left. Ball drifts down the leg. Quick run. Confusion. He's in, but everyone was saying throw it to the bowler's end, and Tim Stone finally makes it home. How was that for an almost run out? The 3rd one, and I'm sure Border would have been livid with themselves. They live to tell another story as the wicket still is intact. Manqokolwana now comes onto the strike. He's a left-handed batter. Bowling is Nkati, who is a right-arm bowler, coming over the wickets to the left-hander. A B1 versus B1 contest. A good ball delivered by Nkati. Missing it completely is Manqokolwana. Asking if everyone is ready. Wicketkeeper giving direction. The ball is popped up into the air by Manqokolwana. The short mid-wicket, who's standing very close, could not get his hands onto it. Lesu. Ditibane had a chance to jump for that one. The ball being bowled wide behind the legs, giving no chance for the batter to get a touch on that. No chance for Ditibane to redeem and try to make a catch of the next one. But it wasn't even a dropped catch, just a popped ball by Manqokolwana. Now you have a very, very short extra cover. That very, very short extra cover being put there because of that wide delivery that was going to be bowled. Offering width was Nkati, but too much width as umpire Yamin Godel signals the wide. Halfway through the over, Nkati bowling to Manqokolwana. Very close fielders. If you can hear the wicket keepers giving guidance to his B1 bowler. The ball comes in, hits the legs. Big appeal coming through from the infield fielders. Umpire Godel is unmoved. 2 more balls remaining. Score is 6 for 2. Nkati receives the directional calls from his wicket keeper, Obakeng Mashabe, but Nkati bowls it again, going down to the leg side. Again hitting the legs of Manqokolwana. Again a small appeal, but Godel is unmoved once more. Last ball of the over for Nkati. Slow start for Border. Excellent delivery bowled by Nkati. Excellent delivery. Going down the off stump, Manqokolwana completely missing it, and that's how he ends that over. A fantastic one from Nkati. Only going for 3 runs. A good way to partner up with his opening partner. Chabang went for 3, and that over took 2 wickets, which were run-outs, and the second over also going for 3 from Nkati. No wickets on that one, but the pressure tightly firmed on. 3 runs per over. It is 6 for 2. Northwest, their 2-month-old team, brand new in their first tournament, but on the other side, our Border. They were here last year, reaching the semi-finals, eventually falling victim to Gauteng. They'll want to make it 1 step further, or 2 step further, and actually bring the cup back to the Eastern Cape. But Northwestern Dragons haven't gotten a victory yet, and they'll want to make a change of that, so it has been a good start from them. Here comes Mohapi Mokwele, number 7 with the ball. Tim Stones batting. Good way to start the over from Mokwele, bowling it straight onto the leg stump, but Tim Stones make contacts with it. No wickets to start the 3rd over. Good follow-up delivery. Northwesterns seem to be pumped up by the efforts of their bowlers. Everyone is sitting and watching intensively about what's going to happen. Stands seem to have a couple of people over there. Nice to have some fans around. Ooh, Tim Stones was ready to run down, but he had hit the ball straight to Chabang, who is fielding on that extra cover area, making it tight for them to squeeze in those singles. 6 fielders who are within the carpet, giving Tim Stones not a single chance to breathe. But he works it away, does Stones, as the ball was going straight to the middle stump. He stood in front of the stumps and imposed himself over the ball as he works it onto the square leg. But it's just 1 run, but it's a run well needed after 3 dot balls. Mokwele is starting off fantastically, continuing the good job started by Chabang, followed up by Nkati, and now with Mokwele. Beautiful cricket. Mangolwana is on the strike. Pops it into the air, and it was so close. Monakala was there, almost into his hands. The left-hander must be careful now, the batter. But he'll survive if Mokwele bowls like that. That last ball going behind the legs. And that's how we end the 3rd over. A happy one for Northwestern Dragons. Only 1 run conceded from it. We are in Durban. That looked like it was coming all the way to the stumps, but slightly down the leg side. And that is what Yamin Kodel, our umpire, dictates. Not out with 2 balls remaining. Jacob Gaweng bowls it straight. The connection for Mangolwana is not good enough to penetrate the ring fielders who are right in his face. He can feel their energy around them. The intensity is growing hard. He can't even cut it up with the blade in his hand, given that the scoring rate has been stifled completely. Gaweng with the last ball of the 4th. Bowls it superbly straight, and it seems like umpire Godel is not moved with that appeal. Must have hit the bat in order to bring the over. You can see it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you can feel it too, what Northwesterns are doing. They are running to their positions. They're speaking to each other. They're bumping each other's fists, giving each other encouragement to do the right thing. And that is what Border needs to face. That is what they need to deal with. The sky is grey, it's gloomy, and that is why the team in grey seems to have found their spark, because the weather is working in their favor. Titsibane, he's looking to implode more of that pain coming through from the commentators' end where we are at. Bowling to Tim Stones, who has had problems striking at 50% of the balls, so that means 1 run every 2 balls. Tim Stones now playing on strike. Titsibane bowls the first ball behind the legs and wide enough for umpire Rasul to spread his arms. It's a wide ball to begin the 5th over. Titsibane starting his very first over himself, loosening himself up. And how about that for a follow-up delivery? Bowling outside the off stump, trying to guide at Stones to that 3rd man area. But the line is good enough for Tim Stones to fail. Walking across the stumps, the batter. The ball going behind his legs, missing the leg stump too. Dot ball. Quick single, very quick single. You can see with every run, it seems as if when Northwest are searching for that opportunity, they were hungry for it there, but nothing coming off it. It could have been 3 wickets by now with 3 runouts, but the third runout's possibility just didn't happen for Northwestern Dragons. Still 2 wickets down though, but the most important thing is that in a shortened inning where there's only 72 balls, we have faced 27 of them, and it's only 10 runs on the board. Manqokolwana is having a very tough time. He hasn't scored a single run in 17 deliveries. It's in the air. Ooh, very close one. Matitibane, he bowls it straight, but it seems to be outside the leg stump. Dot ball. That's how we bring the end to the over again. 5 overs bowled. If it wasn't for that wide delivery to begin the over, we'd be singing tunes of a maiden over. But no runs coming from the bat. Manqokolwana's runs are so important because as a B1 player, they are all doubled. But so far, not so good for him. 19 balls, no run as yet. That brings on a new bowler. He is not letting the batters settle. Northwestern Dragons and Fikile Chabang are changing it up constantly. Now the new bowler coming through. Obakeng Mashabe. Ooh, Tim Stones, make it back home. The direct hit is direct. But it starts the over with a no ball, does Marobe. Kamogelo Marobe, the new bowler, B1 candidate player, bowling to Tim Stones. Look at him open himself up and guiding that ball behind square. By the time Tim Stones made it to the other side, the new batter was already there, the runner. Marobe bowls it wide down the stumps. Umpire Godel signals that Marobe needs to remember that he's actually bowling to a left-handed player here. That is what Manqokolwana is. So these lines that he keeps on using are actually really good for a right-handed batter. But it's a left-handed batter right now, so all of them are going behind the legs. So they're not bringing the proper results that they need, and they are gifting the runs to border. So restrictive they've been so far, they don't want to let the pressure loose. Here comes the bowler, Kamogelo Marobe. Bowls it wide again, unfortunately. And here we have Kabelo Monagala, the number 9 player, who's coming in, giving guidance to the bowler. And in him changing or giving him the guidance, suggests changing the angle of attack. Now coming around the wickets is Kamogelo Marobe. Bowling to the left-hander Manqogolwana, both B1 players. And you can see the instant change, getting his lines working now is Marobe. Bowls it wide outside the off stump. And it's too wide, as it's signalled there by umpire Godel. Three legal deliveries bowled so far. Manqogolwana munching up those balls, unfortunately. Oh! Fikile Chabang had a dolly. He had it onto his lap and waist. And he used the wrong waist as he drops that chance. Wasted opportunity. 2 wickets down, but Manqogolwana still there. Chance number 2, and chance number 2 in a row being put down by Chabang. Very same ball, very same shot, and unfortunately very same results. Oh, this is sad stuff. The change of angles working wonders for the bowler. Marobe now firmly in charge, needing support from his teammates. Bowling it very well as it hits the feet of Manqogolwana, who must be feeling the pressure so much. Deep down inside, someone from border must have been grateful that those chances would have been taken. So maybe the scoring rate might pile up, because it's 24 balls for no runs. That's 4 overs of bowling. And he has a chance for an extra ball. And remember, the overs are shortened. We are playing a 12-over inning, and we are 1 ball away from being halfway. So this is quite worrisome for Border. I'm worried on their behalf. Quick single. Here's the pressure telling. Here is the pressure telling. And the pressure told for all it's worth as the wicket now falls. Manqogolwana must walk back into the dugout. And it's wicket number 3 from yet another run out. 14 for 3. Runs for it, calls backwards. Tim Stones was coming down and Tim Stones turned back. So did the runner, but it didn't make it home on time. An incredible struggle from Manqogolwana. Absolutely difficult, but somehow they get their wickets, Northwestern Dragons. The pressure finally telling with the run rate at 2.3. Border, they now need to score all the runs. If they could get a boundary every 3rd ball, that would be happiness. But they need to be scoring big. 6 overs left. That is equivalent to 36 balls. Halfway through the inning. And Ditibane has the ball in his hand. Number 6 on his back. Number 6 in his hand, because he has 6 balls to make something of this over. Here he comes, bowling to Tim Stones. It's a good start to that over. Quick single. Tim Stones is running for his life. And he loses it. running as if his life depended on it. But his run was not worth it as he fails to reach home, and umpire Russell raises the dreaded finger to send Stones back home. 4 runouts. And this is not how you want to get your second win of the tournament. It seems to be falling into pieces. It's really, really crumbling. Two new batters now making their way. One is already in the crease. Siviwe Bonase already on the pitch. The replacement of Manqokolwana preparing themselves to come in as well. Taking time here, Border, to sort out the new man. Thank you. Yeah. The wind is starting to blow here in Durban. It's getting a little bit colder. Is this spring? It seems like spring lasted for 1 month here. We celebrated it in September. Now October is here. It's like, yeah, winter is making a comeback. You thought it was gone? But what is keeping us hot is the performance by the Dragons. They finally have left their dungeon and seem to be flying out in the air. It is the House of Dragons season, and they are currently in the tournament seeing the Game of Thrones. Who will be the king of blind cricket in South Africa? But finally, we see our batters coming in. Still trying to find out what's actually going on. A little bit of confusion. Unfortunately, our communication lines are a bit halted today, so we can't really have a chat with the umpires to gauge what's going on and alert you so that you are up to date as well. But the good thing is that there are games happening in other grounds as well. It's not just this. If you're interested, Pitch Vision is also bringing you a match that's currently happening at the Oval, just opposite Kingsmead, not too far away from where we are here at Tills. Currently, it's Free States taking on Borland.
Sure.
There's a couple of international players who are representing their teams in that fixture. But back to Tills Crescent Sports Ground, where we are seeing Border trapped on 14 for 4 in a 12-over inning match. Ditibane, he has the ball and he is bowling to Manglindi. Reverses his sweep. Manglindi says, "Come here, I'll show you what I can do." Reversing the sweep, and the stop from behind is very pure. 1 run added onto the score, bringing Lungisani Fana onto the strike. A brand new partnership. Not many partnerships to speak of, actually. We can say there are partnerships in terms of length, but length means nothing without the quantity in runs to justify the length of the partnership. That's where Border have been lacking so far. 38 balls delivered, 15 runs on the board. This is a T12 inning. Bowling the ball down the leg side. Umpire Munib does not move. Plays it up into the air. Fana works for a single. Fana is a B1 player, so remember that each runs that they score, they get doubled. You can see the B1 players because they wear those dark glasses. They want to make sure that there's not a single advantage. So even if you have 1% sight, you must wear those dark glasses so that it gets down to absolutely nothing. That's what B1 players are. Completely or totally visually impaired. Titsibane bowling an impaired delivery of his own as it signaled for no ball. Pitching late. Remember, the ball must roll. The pure art of bowling. Drifting down the legs for him. We are 2 balls until the end of this over. Late to react to that shot was the fielder. Jacob Gaweng trying to do his long barrier method, but the ball had already gone past. So that's how we end the over, with a single. And after 7, 5 overs remain now, and the score is 19 for 4. This is absolutely difficult. From the way things are going, we're looking at a score of around 32. 32 in 12 overs. How happy would you be? And the captain now coming through, taking charge by himself to show how to finish things off or continue working. Here he comes, just instructing his B1 player. Look at how little that change was. He knows exactly what he wants to do here, Figile Chabang. He is bowling to Bangela Manglindi. Manglindi will want to knock this one out. Boom. Ooh, just hitting it back onto his legs. Appealing for LBW, but the ball just getting the inside edge back onto the legs of Manqindi. Manqindi is a fist in Ngezulu. Isbagela, put them down. KO. They need a knockout performance from Manqindi right now. And for what it's worth, Border will definitely take that bye. They need everything coming their way. It is completely bleak from how things are set up. Unless if their bowling performances is absolutely outstanding and they can suffocate their opponents, they need to give their bowlers something to work with. Ooh, shots being played from Fana. Oh no! And that's the fifth wicket. The ball was hit by Fana straight to his runner, and the deflection from that rolling to the non-striker's end as they called for a run. The runner had no chance of making it home. He ran for all his worth, was Mshweshwe. But it's a run out for Fikile Chabang. It's a run out bizarre. If you're looking for a museum of runouts, come to Tills. Absolute carnage. 20 for 5. It's a complete strumming. Last 3 games seems to be very low scoring, and this one, being the third, is going in that same vein. Something happened here at Tills. I don't know who came and zapped the ground off of its run scoring abilities, but every team has been struggling. Limpopo scored 53 yesterday, covered by KZN by scoring 54. Limpopo came again this morning. They scored 53 again, and it was covered this time by Northerns. Here we have Border, and they are borderline to scoring even lower than 53 here. They have 4.3 overs remaining. Those are 27 balls. Even if they score a run per ball, they wouldn't make it to 50. And how happy would Northwestern Dragons be if they had to claim a victory here? It's very painful coming to a tournament and not getting even one victory. Now we have civility. The bowl batter finally conceding that he's lost his wicket. Fikile Chabang bowling it wide. It's got some good pace on it though. But we'll want to just change up how he throws it. Oh, Fikile Chabang strikes. He changes it up. And man, did it work. Did you see the ball move away and angle back into the stumps? It literally rolled around the feet and onto leg stump. Wicket number 6. Fikile Chabang strikes. And finally the run of runouts have been halted by a bold. I don't know what type of weapon Northwestern Dragons are carrying it, but even mass destruction doesn't describe what we are witnessing here. Northwestern Dragons are on fire. Even the Targaryens can't tame them the way that they are performing. 21 for 6. Run rate by Border is 2.7. If it wasn't for the extras, who knows how much it would be. How many extras? There are more runs coming from the bat now. Running just one. It's Waiter Weaver who is the new batter. Waiter Weaver. He gets one straight off the bat, and the same runs from the bat equates to the runs of extras. 11 extras, 11 runs from the bats, hence the score being 22. So 50% of the runs from the bat. That in itself tells a very dark tale for Border, but also tells a tale for the bowling of Northwestern Dragons. Here's another extra being given. It's 23 for 6. 23 for 6 is the score after 7.5 overs. The Northwestern boys are excited with what's happening. The shot being played. Here's another chance for a run out. The communication from Border has so many question marks today. If it was an exam, this is not one that they are passing at all. Eight overs completed. Happy Dragons indeed as Boykinkati comes in for the bowling. He's bowling to Waiter Meva. Waiter Meva is on strike, right-handed batter to the right arm. Boykinkati who bowls it to the left leg stump. The ball is being worked away to mid-wicket, 1 run, taking the score now to 24 for 6. The run rate has not gone over 3 runs and over. It's been very difficult for Border. Nkati now bowling to Mshweshwe. Nkati is ready. Mshweshwe plays it to the square leg, but the ball penetrates through Gaudi. Gaudi though goes on and retrieves. And it's just 1 more run ran. The intensity of the running is a bit low from Border too. With the runs that are on show and on the score, you would want them to run their lungs out because boundaries are very few to find. It's still 25 for 6 though. Nkati bowling to Meva. Meva crouches, tries to drive the ball but missing it completely. Meva is a B3 player facing the B1 bowling Boykinkati, continuing over the wickets with his right arm slow deliveries, putting more pace into that one. The inside edge nearly going into the stumps for Meva. How good is this bowling from Kati? Consistently outside the off stump. Captain Chabang is happy with his bowler's efforts. Hopefully we haven't cursed him in the gantry. We have a knack for doing that. But 2 more balls to go for Boykinkati. Oh, bowls it well. It is straight onto middle stump. The accuracy is impeccable. I think we need to check out Boykin's glasses. I'm sure he can see where he's bowling this ball. It's come so accurate and so consistent outside that off stump for 5 balls in a row. Not a single extra delivered. How will he close the over off? Bowling to Mshweshwe. Lovely bowling. What an incredible over. Leaking absolutely nothing away. tight as ever, and only 4 singles given away. Chabang is happy with his bowler, and that's how we bring the end to the 9th over. And finally, Border reach 3 runs and over in terms of their run rate. They are now on 27 for 6. There's 3 more overs remaining. Those are 18 balls for Border to do something. They were happy batting first. This is not what they expected when they walked out. Especially against a team who have not won a single match in the tournament. Deep down in their heads, they would have thought they had a chance, but this is not it. Especially with Kabelo Monagala, who's now coming to bowl. He's a bit quicker than the rest. You can see from his run-up. But he'll be bowling some shwe. Monagala bowls it onto the leg stump. Mshweshwe works it behind square. The short fine leg fielder comes to retrieve, and it's just 1 run added to the score. They really need more than 1 runs. I shouldn't be analyzing, but anyone can see, they can hear through this commentary that the score does not look good. 28 for 6 after 9.1. And Monagala, hearing my plea, doing some charity work, bowling it out of the crease. An extra. It's 29 for 6. Ooh, how close was that to the off stump? How close was that? Bowling to the left-hander, right arm over the stumps, bowling it across, and it swung back into the off stump. Lucky to be alive is Merva. And how often do we see close to a wicket, the ball is being hit? They should have ran 2. 2 was definitely there. They are not running hard enough. Coach must not be happy watching from the stands. Very lackadaisical in their exchange. 3 runs in the over so far. Bowling it straight, bowling it very straight, but he must have survived by a whisker. Umpire Yamin Godel is not convinced. Ball must have been drifting down to the leg side as he signals. Getting some movement on the pitch is Monagala. That is some serious skill. The ball is moving back in. It's coming back in, so that's why it was missing the leg stump. That's one grabbing the inside edge and hitting it onto his foot. That's why it's a dot ball. So he's creating problems, is Monagala, with that movement back in. Last ball of the 10th. Advancing down the track is Mshweshwe. He's halfway down the pitch and has to make it back home. And he does so successfully with the dot ball. 4 dot balls in the over. It's 3 runs and over, and how incredible is this? 30 for 6 are Border. Excellent work from Northwestern Dragons. 13 extras in this inning, so if you take those out, they actually on 17 runs. That tells you everything that you need to know in terms of the performance by Northwestern Dragons. Now 2 more overs remaining in the inning. "12 balls remaining. It's a 12 over inning. And Jacob Gaweng with the ball. Waitameva with an interesting stance. He actually crouches down and rises up. And he rises the ball up as he works it behind square because Jacob bowled it onto the leg stump. They exchange a single to begin the 11th over. He's on 3 runs, is Mushweshwe. After 7 balls, the strike rate has been so poor in terms of what you expect with a 12 over inning. You'd be wanting to at least be scoring at a run a ball to give your bowler something to defend. But we cannot speak much until the reply inning has come. But that's just the general sense of the feeling and understanding of the game. Hoisted up into the air. Mushweshwe gets the single. 1 run added once more. 3 runs in the over so far. That is inclusive of 1 no ball. So 2 balls have been bowled legally. Jacob Gaweng hearing the calls from his wicket keeper so that he can get the direction completely. Remember, since they can't see, they need guidance. And importantly, play. Missing the ball. With a hopeful appeal there, Jacob. But the bowler needs to make sure that the batter is ready, so he asks if they're ready. Courtesy in telling them to play as well, so they know that the ball is in the vicinity of being played. But Waitameva goes back into his crouching position. Ball bowled outside the off stump. He was going for a drive shot, but Jacob Gaweng, maybe he knows that the ball was wide and is trying to plead to not being signalled. But 2 dot balls in a row. That should be worrying signs for Waitameva. 8 more balls in the inning remaining. Oh, the guidance was poor from Chabang. You can see from how he was reading up Jacob Gaweng, he was already looking down the leg side area. So that's the only place that the ball could go, and that's why it has been signalled a wide. 34 for 6. 8 more balls remaining. The wicket keeper making calls outside the line of off stump. Jacob Gaweng doesn't follow those calls, and that's why he gets punished. The ball played behind square, and yet another single for this partnership. It's currently on 14 runs as they move the score to 35 for 6. The Northwestern Dragon boys are relaxing pretty nicely. They're happy with what they are watching. Border players are not even in the picture. Border needs all the support that it needs from their fans back in Eastern Cape, from the team that are here, and from the batting that is coming. And this running is poor. There's a chance for a run out, and the stumps have been missed at close range from Figile Chabang. Wicket number 7 was there at the non-strikers end. Meva was already on the other side, forcing Mshweshwe to run to the non-striker. He had to dive. As you can see, his shirt is now dirtied by the ground. If Figile, who was standing on the pitch, could have just held it and just did a John C. Rhodes and dove onto the stumps, or even hit them, Mshweshwe would have lost his wicket. That's how we end an eventful 11th over. How close was that? Now it's the last over of the inning. You can hear the claps. They are happy, Northwestern Dragons, with their efforts. And Figile Chabang, who unfortunately dropped 2 consecutive catches, now would want to redeem his honor for his team and for himself too. Maybe getting a wicket to end this inning. Last over, it's 36 for 6, each wicket costing 6 runs. Bowled him! First ball does the job, and Mshweshwe needs to walk. Leg stump, you could hear it from where we are, going quing. And Shweshwe now must walk. Figile Chabang redeems it with the very first ball, and how brilliant was that? 36 for 7. 5 balls remaining. And 50 does not even look on the cards for Border. Maybe Northwestern Dragons can sense the rain coming, so they want to make sure that their fire burns and they breathe smoke right up until the end before the rain comes. That's why they're making quick work of this. 36 for 7. 11.1 overs. That means the run rate is at 3.22. This forces the new man onto the pitch. It's a B1 player. His vision completely impaired. Bolani Makedi. He's the new man coming through. Figile Chabang has his collars up, much like he has his tail up. He wants to get this over and done with. 3 wickets remaining. He has 5 balls to do it. Border, they want to get at least these 13 runs, but where are they going to come from? 13 runs to get to that half-century mark, actually 14 runs. The equation is worse than I imagined. The margins are so slim in a low-scoring game that 1 run counts as a lot. So Macheri now will be on strike. Figile Chabang just made friends with the leg stump the ball before. Can he make friends with the furniture again? Ooh, very close though. Bowling to a B1 player, the ball was going outside the line of the off stump because he has this ability of moving it away from the right-hander. So continues over the wickets. 3 fielders standing right in front of the batter. But he doesn't utilize them. Does Chabang, who bowls it outside the leg stump. So wide, so much that umpire Godel signals for the wide. 37 is the score. Fantastic stop. Here's another runner opportunity. The ball doesn't seem like it was collected by the wicket keeper. There was a definite chance as they risked the single. We talked about the 3 players who are standing right in front of the right-hander. It was stopped by one of them. The throw just needing more accuracy for the 8th wicket. But it's 39 for 7 because the B1 player's score is doubled. So that single counting for 2. Hit straight to the square leg fielder. Here is a definite chance. Here is a definite chance, and the chance has been taken. Run out opportunity presented with the ball hit straight to the square leg fielder. Border were asking for that one. They asked it and the cricket gods delivered. They therefore lose their wicket by risking that single, and halfway through the 12th over, it is 39 for 8. Olani Macheri must walk. His runner could not make it home. Bangela Mangrindi is the runner. He couldn't make it. The score is now 39 for 8. 39 for 8 with 3 more balls remaining in the inning. the inning being a 12 over inning. It's 11.3. The run rate is 3.339. It's pretty low. This is going to require excellent bowling from Border.
No, 11.
11.3. They're going to need magical bowling, will Border. It needs to be insanity. Because with 3 balls remaining, the only way now is for them to score some boundaries or get a serious amount of extras from the hands of Fikile Chabang, who's only given away 1 wide so far. So it doesn't seem like he's going to give 10 wides here. Last year's semi-finalists being taken onto the hammer block by the tournament's debutants. Northwestern Dragons seem to be high in spirits. They clapping at nothing. They speaking to each other. They starting a chant. If this was Free State with the Siwelele train, we'd be having songs going now. You know how they are, Bloemfontein Celtic fans. But we are not in Free States. Free States are not playing. It's Border. And Border are not free at all here. Their run scoring being jailed up completely by Northwestern Dragons. New player walking in. Mbulelo Nzwana, number 2. He is another B1 batter. Having Tim Stones as his runner. Score is 39 for 8 with 2 more balls remaining with 8 wickets down. Fikile, his wicket is responsible for 2 wickets. He's over responsible for 2 wickets. It's funny how we said beginning of the over he dropped 2. He needed to redeem himself, and man has he done that. It's Nzwana striking. Fikile bats bowling. Fikile bowling it straight, and he gets some bats to it, does the batter. It was going straight for that leg stump. Good thing he got some bat onto that, because an appeal would have been very problematic. But this is now the last ball of the inning, so whatever happens, happens. 39 for 8 is the score. How will Border close this off? It's all been Northwestern Dragons since the beginning. Now about to reach the halfway point after this ball. Playing it, and he survives, does Nzwana. But at what cost? At a cost of no runs. And that brings the end of the first inning of the second match today here at Tills Crescent Sports Grounds, with Northwestern Dragons winning the toss and electing to bowl. And man, will they be happy with what they've executed. 39 for 8 was Border, and they have set a score of 40 runs, 12 overs. We'll be back again in 10 minutes time after the change of innings, with Northwestern Dragons needing to score 40 for the victory in 72 balls. Welcome back. We are Pitch Vision TV, bringing you ball by ball action of this chase. Border setting a score of 39. First ball being hit into the air by Figi Lechabang, who is the captain, taking 2 wickets in the final over to bring the total to 39 for 8 for Border. It's a 12 over reduced inning, with Bangela Manglindi starting it off for Border, right arm over the wicket. Now bowling to Kabelo Monagala. Figila almost getting a 50 in the very first game that they played, scoring 46. Then running himself out in the very next game. What can he do for his team here today? It's not much to do. The required run rate is 3.3. The only way this will become difficult is if they are ill-disciplined in their batting and lose a cascade of wickets. That is exactly what happened to Border, barring the ability of scoring runs, which was completely tarnished. Monagala is now on strike, and you can see that with the 2 balls hit very hard, both from Figile Chabang to start the game off. And now with Monagala with the second ball, there is intent behind the Northwestern Dragons. They want to go and watch their Netflix. They want to go prepare for UEFA Champions League tonight. Quick single. That was the difference maker for Border's inning. Their inability to make quick singles and being decisive in their running. Thick bush, you need to be able to run in this ground at Tills, just like they did there. Excellent placement by Monagala. A single with each and every single ball, and in this vein, they'll finish this match in 6.4 overs. Make that 6.3 overs because they'll be getting 2 with this run. Might they tease and go for a third? Monagala, before he even gets to his home, is already saying no to that one. 2 runs added to the score. Now moving to 6. Quick single again. Figi Lechabang. Smart playing, smart cricket. You can see that they've developed a plan and they're eking out runs with every single ball, much like they did with this over. It is 7 for no loss after 1, with the required score being 33 from 66 balls. They need to be scoring a run every second delivery. That's how they're going to cover up the score. Or they can become brutal. Did you see David Miller scoring his 140 odd deliveries? Might have one of those as Fegile Chabang looks to strike it hard. Wei Tameva being the bowler. Tick-tock with the scoring. Monagala had to walk across the pitch. If he didn't reach for that one, it was going to be a no ball. But still, it's 1 run added. Figi Lechabang now on strike. Tim Stones on the stumps as the number 10 player. Fixing his laces. It's going to be a lot of running. Unless if one of them can let loose and find the strength to score these boundaries. But it's not much pressure to Northwestern Dragons. Birds are chirping in front of us. They're telling us not to worry about a thing. everything will be all right, birdies. Thank you so much. But it won't be all right for Border unless if they start taking these wickets. And it won't be all right for them unless they start being disciplined in their lines as well. Wide ball as the ball rolls behind leg. Smashes it up into the air. There's a chance. But the fielder losing it up into the midfield. And it's 2 runs that has been ran. $13 for no loss. Bowling it across the stumps to the offside. It's coming around the wicket is Waitameva. Bowling it across the right-handed batter. Left armour is Waitameva. Bowling it outside the off stump. And slowly, they're just picking away the score. If they cover the score within 80% of the overs, that is them winning with a bonus point. That will mean if they can win this game within 10 overs, that's them winning with a bonus point. Manglindi continues. No wicket lost so far. Figile Chabang on strike. Ball bowled straight with some pace behind it as the fielder fails to stop it. He had a very good idea of where it was. Just couldn't get his hands onto it, and another single being stolen. Seems like a little bit of a procession. Going through the motions. They don't want to be making awkward deliveries which will leave them stranded and ran out. It was a sea of runouts for Border. Great shot that is being played there from Monagala. It's pierced through the short fine leg fielder. It has that ran all the way for a boundary. Man, does it look like it's ran for the boundary from where we are. But it's just 3 runs as the umpire do not signal. 19 for no loss. Well, compensates well as he bowls this one outside of off stump. Figile Chabang smashes it straight to the mid-on fielder. No run. Are they going to steal this? Figile Chabang is late to react. B1 fielder collecting it. A good collection. Wayward throw. Even if it was direct, it was going to be safely home, was Monagala. This is a nice looking partnership, now reaching its 20s. They've done so in only 17 balls. Look at them go for another run. Oh, he was so close to getting it. There was the fielder. End of the over. I was under the kitchen. End of the over. 20 for no loss after 3. You would have thought there was going to be a single with the last ball, but they opted against it. Remember, there's no need to rush here for Northwestern Dragons. They liking the scenery that Durban has to display. Surgical about how they doing this run chase. 1,000 cuts rather than a swording, beheading strike. Lazola Daniels with the ball concedes 2 runs with his first one. Figile now on 12 runs from 11 balls. Both batters striking at above 100, meaning that they are scoring at over a run per ball. Into the air the ball goes. Fana raises his hands, but the ball jumping over him, and it's 2 more runs as Figile was looking to go big. Not sure he's a fan of running right now. He's trying to make sure that he doesn't. Look at the power that he's generating. Attacking the longer side of the field as he runs back for 2. I was watching Coach Carter last night, and what Coach Carter did to those boys from Richmond was make them run suicides. He made those boys run. And you can see now why that fitness is important. You have to run in every sport, including cricket. Those 22 yards become very long after a while. Figile Chabang, 16 on 3. Around the wicket comes Daniels, reverses his sweep, penetrating the infield. Good fielding there, and Figile Chabang runs back for 2. Did you see Nzwana tracking that ball and finding exactly where it is? Didn't need any assistance. But the reversing of the sweep and the targeting of the offside by Chabang, reinforcements are needed. So we're expecting the ball to be outside the line of the off stump because the protection on the leg side is non-existent. Getting that straight back, going onto that long on field, trying to stop it with his hand, with his feet as Lazola Daniels. It skips through. 2 runs added as Manqindi runs back to retrieve. Here is Figile Chabang with a very interesting stance and position to start off facing the ball from Lazola Daniels, covering the stumps. This is why we have LBWs if he misses it. But he must hit here, Tim Stones, to give a chance for the first wicket for Border. 30 runs in the bag. They are doing very quick work of this. 31 after 4 overs. Scoring at nearly 8 runs and over. To show you the stark contrast, power play. To show you the stark contrast between the two teams. Border, their bowling has been decent. Unable to get a wicket so far, but they've only conceded 1 extra. So testament to the batting between Chabang and Monakala. 30 of the 31 runs coming straight off the bat. Border are trying as much as they can, but it's a big ask when you have to defend 9 more runs with 48 balls. Whew. Wearing a navy shirt and a navy pants is not something I would like to be doing today. Figile Chabang. Ready. What was that from him? That is absolute madness of a cricket shot. Running over to the offside and smashing it behind Tim Stones. He couldn't take cover, couldn't stop the ball either, but it just couldn't creep to the boundary as you thought Chabang had that connected. He's now on 23 from 17, 7 runs to win. It does that again, but Tim Stones is up to this task this time, getting his webbing on that. Just 1 run as Figile Chabang is really eager to put this to an end. It's the last game that we have here today at Tills Crescent Sports Ground. And from what it looks like, with 6 runs needed from 46, advancing down the track past the mid-wicket fielder, just a single. Now with 5 runs needed from 45 balls. People are already leaving the cinema because the movie seems to be over. Ooh, look at me almost jinxing Fikile Chabang. The ball hitting the bats straight onto his toes and almost rolling back onto the stumps. If it did hit the stumps, that was him taking a walk back to the dugout. How sad it would have been. I'm sure they want to take this to the very end. Xolani Matyeri bowls it onto the leg side. Running for it is Fikile, and he makes it to the other side. 4 more runs needed in order for the victory to be complete. Reaching for it is Monagala. He's already on the other side, and Fikile taking his own time. No need to rush this, of course. Take it in strides. Two runs to end the over. 5 overs completed. It is 38 for no loss. Two more runs needed in order for the match to come to its end and for Northwestern Dragons to record their first victory of the tournament. They have been getting defeated, so it's time to balance with the scales with not just a victory, but a blindfully crazy victory. Northwest are ready. 2 runs needed. New bowler coming in. Smashed through was from Tabang. They coming back for the second. And they want to come back for a third, I guess, even though they've won this game. And that's the result. The game is finished. That's the victory. 52 runs 40 runs covered. It's been a flurry of low-scoring games, the previous one being 53. They only needed 40 runs. And they only needed 31 runs to do it. The victory belonging to Northwestern Dragons. Here they are singing their way into the pitch, singing their way into celebrations, and they come on their very first tournament claiming a victory. What a nice story and a confidence booster for them moving forward into the tournament and moving forward into their future as the Northwestern Dragons blind cricket team. Alas, after 4 games, 3 defeats now for Border, and this one a crunching one. It has been Pitch Vision Television, the production crew around me, fantastic work to bring you this coverage, and I'm Pendulo Makubane bringing you ball by ball action of what has happened, and we will meet up again tomorrow for day 4 of the Blind Cricket South Africa T20 National Tournament. Thank you for joining us. See you again tomorrow.